Something about wheat and chaff.
Separating the...
What does chaff look like?
I don't know. What even is chaff? Chaff is supposed to be like the bad stuff?
I know it's supposed to be separated.
Well, which one do you want?
I think the wheat.
You want the wheat.
Separate the wheat from the chaff.
Okay. So I'm guessing this is like a farmer's?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, that makes sense.
Welcome to the Chaff Show, where it's nothing but chaff.
This episode is all about wheat and chaff.
Specifically chaff.
I'm wheat. He's chaff. Welcome to our radio.
Hey, welcome to the Wheat and Chaff Show, where we talk about wheat and chaff.
Yeah, why we want to keep them separate.
If you can't tell, we got a new podcast board. We're excited.
And it works wonderfully.
It's so fun. Weird side plug. The Black Dog Salvage podcast will be launching January 16th.
They got a killer library of episodes already recorded.
Yeah, and that's why I bought this board.
Yeah.
But we want to use it here more at Lift Arc.
I mean, how many episodes have you guys?
6. We
That's
got
a lot.
Mark Bow, Steve Thomas, Rutledge Wood, Jimmy DeResta, for you YouTube fans out there. Grayson, we did an episode with her, and there was one more. Bill Hayes. We just recorded with Bill Hayes. That's a sidebar. Find it wherever you find your podcasts.
Yeah, it's pretty much everywhere. Well,
It will be.
It will be.
Spotify is my chosen, but
Yeah, same.
do what you want. Okay, so Merry Christmas, everybody. For starters, thank you for all the support you've shown us this year. This video is, I don't know, we wanted to do some kind of year-end thing. But yeah, it's been so, my name is Tay Whiteside, for those of you that may not know that, and this is my good buddy Walker Hooper. Walker is responsible for all things media here at Lift Arc, and I do everything else.
Yeah, I mean the responsibilities and tasks might be a little lopsided.
It's
but
all good, man. No, it's you kill it. And for those, if anyone has gotten any joy out of our YouTube channel this year, it's been this guy's talent and autonomy. Because I just throw memory cards at you and I'm like, make episodes.
Hey, and that leads back into how successful you've become at building narratives while you are building products.
Yo, dog, I heard you like building. Why don't you build while you build? So we can build while you build.
Yeah, you're having to think of like 30 different things.
Yeah, that's true. It is exhausting.
Yeah,
and I think I've expressed that on some of the videos. Like, I don't want to be filming today, but here I am. How was this year for you here?
It was pretty awesome. Yeah, I am fairly pleased with year in at Lift Arc. We've actually grown substantially. We're still a small channel, but I think our rate of growth has started going up this exponential curve.
Yeah.
And I attributed that mostly to just keep constantly putting things out.
Stay consistent, yeah.
Because then we've put out so much content that almost some of it is guaranteed to catch on, and of course we had a few videos that really did. Totally. And I think that's what really gave us like an adrenaline shot. So
we're gonna watch the montage he put together from all of our videos of 2021, or some of the big ones. And we're just gonna react.
Yeah.
Streamers react.
Some behind the scenes, cool stuff.
But Merry Christmas, thanks for watching, and let's get into it, man. What's our first bump?
And
you have to put that in.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to do
in these trying times.
I don't want to do that.
I love it.
The Lift Arc stonks.
For starters, Walker's meme ability is my favorite thing of all time. He does what we've now internally dubbed the meme pass, where you edit a video and then you go back through it and inject some memes.
Yeah, exactly. I like to have a full-fledged video, and then while I'm editing it, I'll make some humorous little points in my head and be like, ooh, if I went and added this, then
Your folder of meme footage is just gold.
Dude, and sometimes I go back and look through it, and just like some random stuff that I forgot I put in videos. So like, just yesterday I stumbled across a folder labeled "Blackmail Against Tay."
Yeah, I knew that folder was there.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, I do remember that joke.
And it's just like me making dumb faces and whatnot. But anyway, back to the video. Let's take a look back.
Yeah. And
oh, Steve's table, yeah.
the very first upload of 2021.
That was this one? Mm-hmm. Cool. That was, the Subaru's in the background. This thing came out so cool.
Yeah, dude, I mean...
The amount of work Steve put into, because people thought it looked carved out of wood.
It does. And just the way that he was able to blend in those rolled... Wasn't it like pieces of pipe?
Sections of pipe, yeah. And then he silicon bronze tigged it together, which silicon bronze is really soft, and you can kind of flow it like putty. So he almost like caulked the seams with a TIG torch.
That's crazy. And then these corners too, like, I mean, it all looks seamless.
Steve's a really good designer and an artist. So he had all this drawn and all the measurements. So he literally made his drawing come to life, and it was so cool to see.
Yeah, and there's so many different curves to this that
he used a slip roller from Eastwood. And
he really made the most of that.
Yeah, that cheap ass tool.
Yeah.
And this is the frame. We've been meaning to go back. They now have the granite top on it that was supposed to go there.
Yeah, I mean,
I want to go take final pictures of it.
That'd be awesome because
got it powder coated.
Yeah, I mean the powder coat came out really, really good too. But you know, it had to be built like this because, I mean, how heavy was that granite? Like 600 pounds.
Yeah, huge. I mean, it didn't have to be built this well, but I mean, it's Steve, so he overbuilds everything.
Yeah, true.
It's kind of inspirational, you know. It's like through him, I've learned to cut as few corners as possible. Just do it right the first time.
Yeah, if the long route is the right route.
Well, and we want to be known as the shop that does pretty, incredible work. So.
Yeah, exactly. What has he been up to? We haven't seen him in the shop.
Steve has been hired by his girlfriend to renovate her house. And this is also, Steve in a way hired himself because he has severe distrust for all contractors, which in to his point, it's really hard to find good help these days.
Yeah.
And when you're a craftsman, it's hard to hire somebody to do that work because your bar is already so much higher. So he said, screw it, I'm just going to do it all myself. So he's been doing that for a few months.
Fair enough, because if he was telling himself in his head the whole time, I could do this better, then they would just feel like they're wasting their money on anybody else.
You either do it yourself or you have to walk away. Just be like,
I can't look.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but that's cool.
Yeah, but he's been getting paid by her to do all that, which is hilarious.
Circular.
Yeah, right. It all comes back, yes.
Yeah. And then a series that was really fun to edit that I don't think got enough attention just because, I mean, it was kind of off-brand as far as like what we were building. But you and Aaron teaming up to build this weird chair.
That chair was such a weird project.
Yeah, so it was this old Wrigley Stadium?
Wrigley Field.
Wrigley Field.
Yeah. Stadium chair,
which for some reason in the first episode, Aaron didn't want us. Oh, nice voice crack. Aaron didn't want us to mention that it was from Wrigley Field. I don't know. Maybe I just didn't understand what he was saying.
I didn't either. Sometimes he gets a little off in the weeds.
Yeah, he was like, "You said Wrigley Field," and he was like, "Well, I can bleep that." Is this a secret?
I didn't. So this was a buddy of mine's dad that I went to school with. I didn't go to school with the dad. A friend of mine from school. His dad. It doesn't matter. You're not listening anyway. He got this chair from Wrigley Field in the 80s at an auction, which means it was probably installed sometime in the 40s. I don't know how long the service life of those chairs, but if you look, it's quite old castings, but they're designed to be bolted to vertical concrete face.
Yeah, not meant to sit upright on posts.
And they rely on the other chairs to hold it all together. So we had to make a base. And Aaron's pretty artsy, and he doesn't like to let good enough go either. So we designed the absolute shit out of the base of this thing.
Yeah, and made some good jokes in the process.
I have great nuts.
You do. 2 good ones at least.
The larger than average is kind of the...
Yeah, you're on the borderline of having to get them checked out, but... This was my favorite joke of the year, probably.
But me too.
Because you put it in again later, but way faster.
Yeah, well, I put it in a couple times and just made it faster and faster each time. So you'd only see it for like a couple frames. But yeah, then you guys...
Quick callback, yeah. So we took an I-beam and cut all kinds of material away from it. made these sort of D cups. Yeah, that's a booby joke.
Yeah.
Not really, but
Here's where I insert another boys will be boys.
on
meme.
top of this. Yeah. But then,
Yeah, you guys just basically refused to stop working on it. You got to a certain point where you're like, well, we'll just put it 15 more minutes in.
it was nighttime at this point, and it was freezing. I think this was in January,
Yeah.
February.
I think we went until like 8 o'clock or something.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, you...
Yeah. Point taken, Walker. Thanks. Doing some tigging, and Aaron is a TIG master.
Join us
so-
next time when we do something with more of a plan.
Yeah, we were done after that.
You say that now.
That I-beam turned out so cool too.
And it was neat. And then what Aaron did what's called kerfing, which he took that C channel and cut a bunch of slits into it, and that's how he bent it into that shape. And I didn't want to bother trying to paint match, so all I did was clean this stuff up with WD-40 of all things. Helps kind of lubricate some things and also gets the grease off of it.
I mean, yeah, there's probably, 80 years of gunk on that thing?
Butt juice.
I wonder if there's any famous people's butt juice on there.
Let's just say yes. If I learned anything at Black Dog, just say absolutely.
Yeah,
Elvis sat here.
Yeah, no. Babe Ruth,
Yeah.
when he went to the bench,
He spilled his hot dog chili right there. Yeah.
and then licked it off himself.
That makes it $4,000. Yeah. Look at Stella in the background.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
She's been a great model for a lot of our things, as you'll...
Well, at Black Dog, we filmed them more than anybody else.
Yeah, there's that C channel. Yep.
She's like, please get me down.
Yeah, she's like, I enjoy the pets, but... Oh, yeah, and then...
Oh, here's Bill Hayes.
What you're building is functional art.
Right.
Functional art. It's not just a bench.
So 3 benches, 8 feet long.
I forgot I even did this, too.
Oh, this is great.
3x3 steel tubing. We just this morning decided we're going to go with sapele.
So, this is one of those projects where, you and I don't have time to film everything.
Right.
And then we have to somehow...
Yeah, because look, we're already at this point.
Which is why I did that little, sketch on the whiteboard.
Use your imagination.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny because at the same time, like you saw in that beginning clip there, Bill Hayes was giving us notes on, like production notes.
Because he's a TV producer. And he's like, think about the ethos of a bench, man. It's not just a bench.
Yeah,
It's art.
It's art, but it's functional art.
I'm like, yeah, Bill, that's all well and good, but how do you want these things to work? Like, you want them to feel comfortable? It's like, yeah, I mean, I trust you, man. It's like, all right, it's fine.
Yeah,
but Steve actually ended up building these, and he and I have built custom furniture for years. So there is some science to how a chair should sit. It shouldn't be 90 degrees. It should be leaned back a little bit. And then we leaned it back even more with the legs. So they're pretty comfortable.
Yeah, I remember sitting on it when we installed it.
That's right. We went up to Bill's place. That was a fun shoot.
That was. The ending of that was quite dramatic, though. If you don't remember.
Oh yeah, my alternator.
It's
failed.
coming up.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this is.
But like by watching even this short version, you get an idea of how it was built.
Yeah, and then
Also, Steve put legs on it.
some of the other stuff we didn't film.
This one really required the viewer's imagination.
Yeah, well, the Lift Art Broadcast Center.
Right. Under construction. Yeah. But we had these powder coated by CNC fabricators, and they did a great job. And then we put sapele, which is a sustainable hardwood that looks kind of like teak, but isn't quite as.
I think that color is great. Like kind of a rich.
I like the wide armrests too.
Yeah, those are actually very wide now that you mention it. I wonder how that bench is holding up.
I just talked to Bill the other day. He loves them.
Really?
He rants and raves about them.
He is definitely the kind of guy that would just go out and sit down and look around.
Well, he has this complex and this hiking trail through everywhere. And they're very much a part of the tour of Bill's.
Yeah,
property.
we skipped past
God, look at the
most of
snow
the
on the
tour.
ground.
Yeah, this was February 19th. Jeez.
I hate February so much.
Yeah, February's probably one of the worst months.
Yeah.
February and maybe November, actually. No, November's
November's
not that
kind of
bad.
lame, but February's the worst.
Yeah.
Don't have this truck anymore.
Well, it's probably for good reason.
Yeah, it was just always a problem.
Yeah, we went all the way down to North Carolina. Bill gave us quite the tour of Thunder Mountain Media, his empire of...
He's got an incredible spot.
Dude. And like, very fortunate to have just like some amazing help just on hand all the time.
Yeah, I mean, his place is so big that
on
he
the flip
hires
side.
someone full time to take care of it.
Yeah, and
Her name's Dusty. She's awesome.
yeah, she is awesome.
So anyway, yeah, there was only one person there to help us, but that was plenty.
Because my boys will
and
launch
Bill's young
off of
boys are-
things.
Yeah, he goes, let's do some risk
We might look at
assessment.
it
They'll use
as a
anything as a
bench,
diving
beautiful
board.
bench.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
John
this
doesn't
pond
look
is
at the world
frozen.
like that. You know, it is not a bench to John. I don't know what it is. It's like a launch pad for a superhero.
Yeah, it's a high
And
dive.
you know, and if he could jump from, if he could make it to the water from the bench, he would try.
He would try.
I wonder if he has tried. Because we did this before the summer, so that the pond probably warmed up quite a bit. Mm-hmm. It was frozen at the time. I didn't even remember that.
Yeah, this is crap. She's got the auger. I've got a post hole digger.
Yeah, she gets a little preferential treatment.
I have a few shirts left. If you guys want some shirts, I'll sell them cheap. $15 a piece.
Hey, yeah.
So,
And especially now that it's winter
It
time.
seems as though you
long
might like
sleeves.
the bench. Is it good enough for you?
I hope you're always
The
so
audio is a little-
understated.
my fault.
Yes, I do like the bench. I love it. My mom says you're not supposed to love anything but people, so I can't say I love the bench. But I like the bench very much. No, I love the bench.
Here comes the villain.
And
Yeah.
I thought when you came here, never in life, I thought we were going to put it up there on the road where you could see the big view, but things didn't work out that way.
The other one
that
comes
one
in.
wouldn't sign the release.
Whacks
And neither
him.
will that one. Oh, hey, that hurt.
You actually hit him pretty hard.
Hey, easy.
Just run off. They don't even say anything.
Well, clearly,
See this? I mean, and it needs to be sturdy as witnessed by, the riots around
And that was a
here.
cup of wine that he had
Oh
right
yeah,
there.
we broke out the wine for sure.
I mean, just
Look at that property.
Beautiful
That's his
land.
house up there.
yeah.
Oh yeah, and then this shit.
It was a pretty flawless adventure up until this. So it's the dang alternator.
yeah. That's my first theory. It could be a bad battery, but
It's gonna ask you to start your truck.
yeah, I don't think it'll
Thank
start.
God there was an advanced.
Yeah, the
Right.
guy there went to go get the alternator from like another
Yeah,
store.
he drove
You're fine.
to another. I don't even think he drove to a different advance. He drove to like a different local mechanic.
That's the noise
Something,
you want to hear
yeah.
when you're 2.5 hours from home.
But my battery was dying
Well,
as I was driving, and I was
Here's
like,
a
well,
quick sit rep.
that's not supposed to happen.
As we were leaving his
Went out.
driveway,
Yeah.
I'm in
we
Hillsborough,
were like
North Carolina.
hoping to coast along.
2.5 hours away from home. We did limp it into an Advanced Auto parking lot. And of course, it's a Nissan Titan. So instead of the alternator being up top here, it's way down there. Way down here. So far down, in fact, that I've pulled the liner out of my
That was nice.
fender well to get to the alternator there. Hey, Nissan.
So, car's running
Yeah,
again.
then skip to all the
Ladies and
bleeding
gentlemen.
and
How
That
long did
sucked.
that take?
yeah.
About an hour.
Yeah, so
much
replaced
is an hour?
the alternator on my truck in an hour outside of an Advance Auto with a cart barely filled with tools.
Oh my God, the
strewn
saddest
about.
cart.
I bled a little bit, but the job took so long that the bleeding stopped. So that's good. And the truck's running great. The voltmeter's happy. I'm
You sold this
generating
car
enough power to
or
charge
truck
the
pretty
battery.
quickly after this happened, didn't you?
Sell
That
it?
was not
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I wanted to sell it while I was still
It just
working
goes
for
to,
him.
you know, the funny thing is, here, you know what we'll do? I'm gonna give this guy a shout out because his YouTube video saved my ass. Aaron Hines on YouTube, thank you.
Yeah.
You made a video
There you go.
that you
Shout out
published
Aaron
February
Hines.
22nd of 2020, so almost a year ago, on how to replace the alternator of a Nissan. So Aaron, thank you very much. Your video
This doesn't feel like it was this year.
saved me
no,
from
I
having
know,
to buy a
right? This feels
hotel
like
room
ages ago.
and getting towed and paying
crazy.
lots of money. So
Yeah, but oh yeah, then the
Oh yeah, the
conference-
table we're sitting at right now.
And this one,
My
you know,
obnoxious gaming keyboard.
hey, it's cool.
So this was, I wanted to, like, when you're on Instagram or Etsy or Pinterest or all that, like, there's so many cool furniture ideas that you can bring to life with a CNC plasma cutter. And I love this industrial speed hole kind of style, like hot rod. You know, a lot of the old machines, like 1800s machines, some of which that were in this shop, have this aesthetic where they cast holes in the bases to probably to save weight, but it ends up looking really cool.
Yeah, it does look super cool.
So I wanted to like prove the concept, like design my own something and cut it. And this was V1, but
yeah. And was this one of the first things that you like built for yourself as far as compared to a customer?
And took all the way.
Right,
this was just, I'm like, you know, and obviously we had YouTube to. YouTube's always my justification factor. Like, well, at least we get an episode out of it, even if I'm losing money on it or whatever.
Well, and
but we needed a table here, and all the wood was from here, like reclaimed wood from the mezzanine we tore down and stuff. So we needed a table. I didn't want to buy some BS IKEA thing from someone on Facebook Marketplace. So I was like, and I knew once we built it, I could sell off of it. You know, people, I could show it when they come in and go, I want one of these.
It's pretty awesome.
I think I'm going to make another one and put it at Black Dog and sell it there.
That would be sick. I mean, it took a lot of work.
Yeah, the top, I hadn't done any woodworking in a while.
The top was honestly the hard part.
For sure.
But we also got a TV spot out of it.
Did we?
Haley Henson.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That crazy person. No, Haley's great. She's again like the Energizer Bunny.
Yes, I mean, I'll just get random messages from her like, "Hey, do you know how to fly a drone?" Like,
yeah. I think she moved to like Colorado or something.
Oh wow.
Yeah, exactly. That was, we were building that. In fact, now I remember, I was pushing myself to finish this base so that when Haley came to do a news piece on the shop, we had something cool in progress, and that worked out. I like pressure.
Yeah.
I got used to working under pressure at Black Dog, and I'm a procrastinator, so I'll save it until the absolute last minute and then work my dick into the ground to get it done.
And she made a very flattering piece on it as well, which was really awesome.
I was honored.
I
Thank
didn't
you, Haley.
include it in this, but I might edit it in.
That's all right.
Yeah.
They know it. It's out there. But this was all drawn in Autodesk Fusion. And there were a few I would cut a part out and go, oh, that's not going to work, and change it. But this was a leftover piece of plate, and you can see me try to nest everything in there.
That's like one of the challenges of a plasma cutter too, is just the Jenga or the Tetris of.
Yeah, you want to have as least waste material as possible, you know, because metal is expensive.
Yeah. And did you ever end up doing anything with the scrap circles?
I've put them on the base of some art that I cut out of that cylinder.
Oh yeah,
that's
feet. Right, the little feet. That's awesome. I didn't know that they
Nothing
were
goes
from
to waste, man.
Yeah, I mean,
Got to
especially
play with fire here, and you're filming this now, I think, right? With the shoulder rig.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I think that was first thing that morning. So that's just a 2-inch flat bar, but it gives it that cast look, and it strengthens it immensely.
And here's what.
This is finishing it up.
Yeah. And I think Haley was here for like a minute of this.
I don't think she was here. I think this is after, because I didn't have that stretcher made.
Yeah, you're right. And then all of the wood that you had to. Just getting this wood into.
Just processing lumber. I hadn't done this in a long time. You know, you gotta cut it to length, cut it to width. We had to split and plane and join a bunch of stuff at Black Dog.
That looks so cool just on its own.
God, yeah, I forget that that's like right here.
I know, it's kind of like, I love the top, but it's kind of hidden.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, this could easily be a $2,000 table, you know?
I mean, that's probably more than fair.
Yeah.
Just almost.
And I could make money at that. Maybe not doing the top myself, but that leaves money on the table.
Yeah, well, and you know, if you didn't have to process all the lumber yourself too, like
if
you bought it
Or I had Black Dog make the tops and I make
Right.
the bases. I mean, that's what we're working towards. Next year, we'll make that more of a thing.
This was a super fun night too.
Yeah, this was a late one.
Yeah.
Because I took it all from raw wood to a glued up top in one night, and you hung out with me.
Yeah, but
So the basic process is you want to get at least two square edges at 90 degrees away, and then you can use the planer and the joiner to telegraph those straight edges across the other side, making it perfectly square.
and that wood, like,
That's all hard pine. That's like 100-year-old pine.
yeah, it was hard for me to see what. I'm sure you, since you have more experience with like wood and refining it, like I just looked at it as like dirty.
Yeah,
like
most people
oil
do.
Soaked.
And there's still oil in it. You can see at some of these knots, the oil is squeezing out.
Yeah.
See all of that. But yeah, I mean, you worked with wood long enough. All you have to do is cut the end off of an old piece of wood, and you can see the grain, and you can see what it's going to look like, and you're like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's one piece of red oak in the middle, and the rest of it's hard pine. So that's the oak, and it's
Fits in
much
great,
harder.
though.
This part sucked. I forgot how hard this was.
Yeah, that domino or
Yeah. I think that bit smaller, so it like made the holes too tight. But anyway, so that's the process.
Yeah, and honestly, just like getting it squeezed together was one of the hard parts too. Just
Yeah, without
like,
it bowing up.
Yeah, because it wanted to flip and push apart.
I'm sure I made it hard on myself in some fashion because that's what I do. But
Hey, you know what? If it works, it works.
it worked great.
Yeah. And
Just 12. Do you have to go?
oh, probably. We'll finish this clip.
Yeah, I'm gonna make some burgers.
For you and me. You don't get to enjoy the table, I do. But we did it for you.
Oh, that goes along with everything else here, you know. And that was what I was saying earlier.
Yeah. I mean, that
I'm
was
not
like
making any money off this immediately, but
it was a physical workout on this table, man.
woodworking is, in my mind, more exhausting than metalworking, but depends on what you do. If you're a blacksmith, you definitely disagree. But take an intermission. He's gonna go get lunch. I'm gonna make some lunch.
With my family. Because it's Christmas Eve.
Yeah, no kidding. It is Christmas Eve, and you're watching this, I guess, on Christmas Eve.
Or on Christmas. Merry
Yeah.
Christmas.
Watch it again. Play it on loop.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Yeah, just please. I'm begging you, please.
Just put it on repeat.
Yeah.
We'll be back.
So
this is Riley. Oh yeah, we built a fire pit for Riley. Aiming that line there is sort of.
Tay's got
Gotcha.
this. Let's just use this.
Oh, there's my drift car in the
And
background.
I did fix the drawing to where it actually assembles the right way. So I figured I'll use you as the guinea pig.
All right, so the
make
first
the,
one I built,
drawings
my
as
buddy Spike drew
accurate as we can.
improperly, but
Yeah.
it
I'm gonna-
ended up being pretty cool.
yes, Spike.
Well, we'll
You
cut
put
the.
something in my hands, it's gonna be bad.
Well, this is gonna be hard to mess up because we've drawn the pit, and I'll show you the drawings here in a minute.
Okay.
And the parts will be cut out accurately, and then all we need to
I'm a
do
little
is just
upset
weld
too
together.
that Riley
What
Riley
could possibly go wrong?
was a better
Yeah, I've
welder
never
than me
welded
right off the
before in my
bat.
life. I'm not handy, and so it's gonna be great.
I may or may not have dissed
Well,
him.
I'm gonna put
In an
you to work,
Instagram
but I will
post.
be-
Oh, good. I think you did.
Yeah.
No problem.
Asterisk to the whole situation. I don't have health insurance right now,
He does now.
so
Yeah.
We'll keip you safe.
Just putting that out there.
Gloves,
putting that
eye
out there.
protection,
Yeah,
ear
for my
protection.
future GoFundMe page.
Help Riley reattach
This
his
is one of my favorites.
The picture's even better.
Zero of $99 million.
And I love that you left in like at 234
Yeah.
shares.
And there's my picture and Seymour Butts.
Well, at least we know here your talent is being fully utilized.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing is left on the cutting room floor. If it's a dumb idea, it's going
Even
in.
things that should be left on the cutting
Yes,
room floor.
yes.
In fact, one could argue that our entire channel is stuff that if we found on the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
This is a cry for
So
help.
I had to include this.
Let's go look at the drawings. What do you say?
Let's do it.
But these were a modified version of what Spike had sent you?
Yeah, Spike helped me redo so that the geometry actually fit. So before, the bowl was too shallow and it left this gap underneath because the trapezoids were drawn improperly. So we fixed that. So Riley got the first of these fire pits that actually worked.
There's no audio there. He goes, he presses the button and he goes, "I'm a welder now."
It's just that easy, folks.
Yep. And then Riley, of course, decided to have some fun.
Oh, this is when we were prepping to do the welding table.
Yeah, working hard, as per usual. Oh, yeah.
Because those bricks were test bricks. Look how shiny, holy cow. Look how
at that. The shop
clean
saver?
the shop saver
Oh,
is.
my gosh.
I need to clean that thing.
When was the last time you took all the water out?
Earlier this year. I've got this stuff that I put in it now that means that has to happen a lot less, but
Oh, that's good.
I'm going to do it soon.
How much of a bitch is that?
It sucks because there's stuff stuck to the bottom you got to scrape out.
God.
It's
all
all right.
kinds of like metal slag.
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, it looks like
The cool part is
quinoa.
we've got it dialed into the point where there's minimal what they call dross. Which you see
Watch,
just
this
a
is
little
wild.
there, just like a little slag left over. But all in all, there's almost none, which is great because
Beautiful.
that saves time down the road having to clean it up.
Right.
Yeah. Already started really dialing your settings in.
Yeah, I'd owned it for 3 months at that point. 4 maybe. So
I mentioned it though too. This fire pit is huge.
it's massive.
Yeah.
This is I think it's a 4 foot across, or maybe 3 feet. But see, now you can see there, it actually goes all the way down and touches. The first one, it didn't do that. I also think my welder ran out of.
It's my first time doing anything remotely
Wyatt.
close to welding.
Heck yeah. Dude, he's great. So this was my weld, and this was, or no, this was your
Also,
weld,
pause
but
really
I
quick.
was
I don't know
holding.
what the stuttering is. You seeing that?
Yeah, I don't either.
No.
Do you think they'll? Who cares? Do you think they're seeing that?
Controlling the
I mean,
hands.
I can always just
So that was
overlay
the
the
next
actual.
one.
Yeah.
And then he stayed on
Yeah, but
target a
we
little better.
stop,
And then he
it's
super
gonna
stayed
get
on
my
target.
ass.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Was it doing that before you full screened it?
I don't think so. Let's.
Was, or no, this was your weld, but I was
Yeah,
holding
just
it
leave
it
and
here. wasn't.
controlling
Yeah.
the hands. And that was
She's
the next
tired,
one.
this laptop.
And then he stayed on target a little better. And then he
little-
super stayed on target, moved a little
Yep.
faster. It's laying
That was
flatter.
not my fault. It was going well up to there.
So what happened was we actually ran out of wire.
Yeah.
This spool of wire is
That
empty
is a
now.
huge spool.
Which
I
it
go
was a
through them
huge
faster
spool,
than you
so I
would
was
think.
like, it'll
Really?
tell me when it's
How
out.
often do you have to like re-up?
Every few months.
Really? Mm-hmm. Jeez Louise.
I mean, it depends on how much I'm welding that,
True.
period. But so I just went to my TIG welder, which took a lot longer. Is there no audio here?
We were actually at Riley's house.
Maybe a track was accidentally.
Cool
muted.
little pad that he bought not long ago.
Yeah, Riley's crib is
And
cool.
we're gonna
Yeah.
go ahead and just put this fire pit in its final resting spot in his backyard. So let's take a look. Riles, long time no see.
Hello.
Yeah, so that's not quite 12 feet.
Yeah, it's maybe 12 by 12 or so feet. Yeah. Oh, perfect. Yeah, this would be great.
This is a great little pad though for it. That'll be awesome.
Yeah, that is definitely not 12
It still
by 12.
works well within that
No.
size.
Yeah.
Maybe like 4 by 8 ish.
Yeah.
Also, the
6
last time I
by
was there,
8
he
or
had
so,
it
if I
like
had
back
to
in the
guess.
center of his yard.
You want to be the smart guy.
The fire pit? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it looks great right there.
Since then, we've started putting holes in the bottom so that, like, water can get out. That's one thing here is it probably fills up with water. Sorry, Riles.
Yeah. You can just put a tarp over it when he's not using it.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, I remember this. This was
Was this the welding table? Yes.
a massive undertaking. Just
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So backstory: Wyatt and I got so drunk that night because we had to babysit this machine until it ended up being like 11 o'clock, and because I had moisture in my air supply, which was messing with the fact that this thing would just stop cutting all of a sudden. So you had to manually restart it and everything, so which means you had to babysit it, and it was punching 1,800 holes in the top of this plate.
Yeah.
So there's a brewery across the street, and we just filled up growlers, and we were just drinking and watching this, and
Fair enough.
we got carried away.
I mean,
But the whole goal was to build a fixturing table that I now love and use every day for a quarter of what it costs to buy one of these things
Right.
by making it ourselves. But
and you did have to brute force some segments of it just because I don't know, but I can't. The water in your air supply or something.
and this is before I had the collision detection head, so the torch would get bumped a little bit, and the next series of holes would be off.
So this would take hours, and you had to stay there and babysit it.
Uh-huh.
You had to.
I had to watch it constantly. You'd be drinking too, wouldn't
Yes.
you?
No, I'd be doing nothing but drinking. I'd be laying down with just like one eye open.
Yeah, even that, like, we would be watching it and still it would get off and we wouldn't notice until
Right,
a
'cause
few
it's
holes
minuscule,
go by.
yeah.
But now it worked out fine.
Yeah.
But lessons learned. This was a crash course in lots of things that I now know for sure, you know.
Look at how many holes that is.
And here's the final cut
Yeah, just
around
right
the
on the
outside.
perimeter.
We were so happy.
Yeah. You can definitely tell.
Oh, did you leave the part in where we're just drunkenly screaming at the camera?
No, yeah, there's a little bit of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
so happy.
Yeah. And so this is the next few days. All the underneath webbing.
Even that looks like it went a whole lot smoother.
Oh yeah, well it's a lot less cutting. This
Right.
part was a lot of cutting, but those were all my little fixturing blocks and stuff. Yeah, so we used one flat table to build another flat table. We kind of overdid it. We weren't even supposed to weld it that tight, but Steve and I are overthinkers, so
Yeah. I mean, and it turned out great. Like, I don't think anybody would notice any of the imperfections.
no, and it's
Maybe
not
then, yeah.
100% flat. There's one end that kind of goes down a 32nd of an inch, but we're not making rockets.
32nd of an inch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's teeny tiny.
Good enough.
You know, that's my constant question. When is good enough actually good?
Well, I think our good enough is a lot higher than most.
Yeah.
There you go. That shot makes it look level.
Yeah. I mean, to the naked eye, it absolutely does look level.
Yeah, and my floor has moved a bit since the concrete kind of swelled,
Settles.
so I need to.
Oh, yeah? This is another one of the larger projects.
Yeah, this is a big one. My cousin Bailey in Charlotte has 3 insane kids, and she needed a custom swing set.
I mean, just looking at the design, it looks awesome.
So I drew that in SketchUp. You formerly Google SketchUp, now someone else owns it, but
Oh, really?
it's
Not
SketchUp's
profitable, I guess.
SketchUp's a beginner drafting program. It works, but it's real clunky. If you're a CAD guy, SketchUp is a nightmare.
I can imagine.
But it's all made from 2x2 tubing. Look at that, satisfying. And here again, that's a nice way to put this one after the previous one because I'm using the fixture table for what it's for.
Yeah.
Creating a jig and stops and things.
This almost feels like it was an older project than the fixturing table, though, for some
It
reason
does.
in my mind. Just because,
It took a while. This
Yeah.
one was in the shop for a few weeks.
true. But,
And see here, I create stops because I have to do this twice. So then I lay the next one in, and then they're identical.
yeah, that is.
April 16th. This was my birthday.
Oh, really? Happy late birthday. Working on your birthday.
When's yours?
May 12th.
May. That's right.
Well, so this was uploaded on your birthday.
Yeah, right.
I was thinking, like, oh my gosh, you were working on your birthday?
I'm sure I was.
I'm sure you were too, but
Well, we're sitting. Well, this isn't work really, but we're here on Christmas Eve.
yeah. And this is only part 1.
What did I learn doing this? There's a few things. I mean, with every job, you learn a little bit, like technique-wise. There's some things I would have done differently. I ended up cutting off the stakes that you'll see me weld on the feet, just because. Well, for starters, it made it too tall for the paint booth that I needed to use to paint this, so I had to cut those off. But it's so heavy that it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, I remember you'll see them swinging on it later. 2 full-grown adults, and that thing is not going anywhere.
No, it rocks a little bit, but what swing set doesn't?
Yeah. I mean, especially with young kids.
Ideally, you could weld all this together in one piece and deliver it that way. But see here, I have to cut the. Or no, I didn't show it. So this is some metal paint that I got that I've been using a lot lately. It needs no primer. You can spray it straight onto metal. I did a bunch of painting at Black Dog, and so I still that's where I learned how to run a paint gun. It's not my favorite thing because I am a perfectionist, and it's so like anxiety-inducing. One little slip up and you get a run here or a drip there.
Yeah, it's almost impossible to get perfect.
But I was quite pleased with that.
Yeah.
I actually ran out of paint, but I barely covered everything.
Yeah, that seems like a good spot.
That's my cousin Bailey and her place in Charlotte, or Harrisburg, but or Harrisonburg.
It fits in with her back fence nicely.
Yeah, that's why she picked that color, I think. Oh, you mean the style of the fence? Yeah.
Or everything and the color. Just fits in nicely.
That's my dad.
We did with the longer do at the
Kids
time.
doing this.
His lax bro lettuce.
Family photograph somewhere of you two swinging.
So who was egging who
and
on
the dog.
to jump out of
Well,
That dog is so dumb. Bless her heart.
there it is.
Hazel. Oh yeah, this is the part where she. This is my favorite thing.
We can honestly make our own pooping pooches calendar.
We have more than one.
Well, I'm sure Stella and
I've got some pictures of them. Yeah. I saw her over Thanksgiving. She said they still love it.
Really? They haven't hurt themselves on it yet?
Well, I didn't ask her that. Probably.
You don't want to know.
Yeah.
You want to bet?
Those are her 3 boys, and this is the best part of the whole video. Yeah.
I really wasn't sure if I was supposed to blur this or not.
You did blur it,
Yeah,
right?
I did.
I think it made it even better.
Oh, Hazel's pooping.
The little blur of the poop.
That's the best part.
And literally your cousin saying, "Oh, Hazel's pooping. That's awesome."
Perfect, yeah.
Oh man, I can't even remember what this was.
What do we do next? What will we think of next?
What even was this? Oh,
So Lift Arc builds, we convert this container into an outdoor bar for a local brewery.
man, it's crazy looking at it in that state too, because that's where it was
Yeah, what he said.
at the end, near the
Yeah.
end of.
You left, is this also April 16th?
Oops. Nope, I'll fix that in post.
Man, April 16th was a busy day.
We released 3 episodes on April 16th.
This was fun. I've always wanted to work on one of these Connex containers. Turn this down some. People turn them into tiny houses and do all kinds of stuff with them.
How much does one of these run? Just like a basic shipping
Yeah, I think they paid, this was well used, obviously, but I
Right.
think it was like $4 grand. And not that much, all things considered.
Oh, a little less than I expected.
And so we cut this out with no intention of using the panels for anything. And then in one of the recent videos, I don't know if you put this in here or not.
So
Here's heaven.
I put the most up-to-date footage at the very end of
Oh,
this.
okay, yeah. Where we did the awning and stuff.
Yeah.
So we cut these doors off. We should have just left them because we ended up welding them back on. At least that one. Whatever.
Nice boxers there.
Thank you. Man, I got no ass at all. So, like, my pants always fall down. I'm sure keen-eyed viewers, well, you don't even have to be that keen-eyed.
Yeah, I remember I think we got a comment on one of our older videos. It was just like, it had a timestamp and it said nice crack.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'll have to find it. I'll insert it here.
Yeah. Get your mind out of the gutter. Even if I am parading my half-bare ass around on camera. But this was fun. I mean, there were no rules, and it doesn't have to be perfect or, it does have to be level and flat, but we just kind of cut pieces of metal and welded it in as we saw fit.
Yeah, so did Evan or somebody there like come up with the exact design, or did you just kind of workshop it?
Yeah, they
on the
kind
fly?
of just told us loosely what they wanted, and Wyatt and I just made it up.
That's actually pretty awesome.
Like, the slope of that roof was all guesswork.
Right.
Opening. I mean, we drew the intended cuts on the side of the container before we cut, so they could look at it and go, "Oh, that'll work."
Sure.
They told us the length of the bar, that knee wall, was based on a top that he told me he was going to use, but he never did. They ended up putting like 2x6s down, which doesn't look very good. But, and then here you can see that we went back and welded doors.
Everything's painted except
Doors.
for the new.
Oh, shout out! Her name's Carson, and her Instagram is like @photovave or something. She's an incredible artist. She works for the Benny Marconi's guys. Oh, nice.
Dude, this.
Oh wait. There you go. That's what you get for that
I
joke.
shouldn't have to put up with it.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, hey, I fixed the time of the day. Thank you. Small victories.
So we were contracted by, this is my motorcycle in the background.
Oh, yeah.
We were contracted by the Roanoke Parks and Rec to build them a play sign, which if you're a Virginian or you've spent time in Virginia, you know about the love signs and the Virginia Love Works Foundation. So this was inspired by that. Giant PLAY. These were damn near 8 feet tall.
Yeah, they were huge,
These
especially
letters.
on top of those platforms. So one of the cool things is that shortly after you finish this, not shortly after, a couple of months maybe, the Go Fest happened, which is like a huge outdoor festival that we have here in town every year.
The Go Outside Festival, yeah.
And right smack dab in the middle of everything in downtown Roanoke was this giant play.
Yeah,
sign.
and they didn't even tell me it was going to be there.
Yeah.
But they had painted it. I gave it to them in a raw metal form.
I'll have
Oh,
to
look,
see if
there
I can-
you are, kind of helping.
Well, mostly just looking.
I said kinda.
Yeah, fair. I'll have to look and see if I have any photos of it.
My friend Becca sent me a picture of her family in front of it.
Oh, I'm sure anybody who knew that you did that would have sent you.
I didn't put a plaque on the back. I was going to, but I couldn't figure out. I don't know. I was scatterbrained.
Yeah.
Shocker.
Well, I think this was forcing myself to take a break. This was when
I was
burnout really struck hard. So
all this cutting.
Yeah, after part 2, I think you took a week off.
Yeah, that's the part about being your own boss and small business. Like you have to decide when to take time off, which means you have to listen to your body.
Yeah.
And I'm a bad listener.
I remember.
And then I came back. Yeah.
Oh gosh, there was a great comment that somebody left. It's gonna kill me.
Like a positive one?
Yeah. They were like, well, my wife and I are our own bosses, and hold on, let me pause really quick and go find it because it was on this video.
I'm sure, there's a lot of. This was us Googling how to use the board that we're using now.
Forcing myself to take a break.
The first thing was forcing myself to glow up.
So,
There you go. As an owner of 2 small businesses, I can say burnout is real. Push through it when you can and when you absolutely have to.
Yeah. Everybody was super positive. Where was it? My wife and myself, every day is a holiday, and we work holidays. Oh, that was a great quote.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I mean, there's this funny thing going around on Instagram right now. It's like an audio for a reel, and it's like, I was tired of a 9 to 5. So I started working for myself, and now I work 24 hours a day. It's pretty accurate, but I don't know. You got to establish boundaries because I'm taking next week off.
Of course.
So that means there's been 2 weeks this year I took off, which is what that's the industry standard for a country like ours, but
it's still not much.
The good part is, if I work a long day, like a 12-hour day, I'll take the next morning off, or come in at lunchtime or something.
Right.
And I don't have anybody yelling at me because I know what I got to get done.
You can at least flexibly adjust those when you spend those hours in the day. And you're going to spend them, but just...
Yeah. And, I mean, I let you work that way, too. You know what we want to get done by the end of the week, and it's as long as it gets done, man, I don't give a shit. You got your own key. You show up when you want.
Pretty much, yeah.
Which is good, because some people work better in the morning, some people work better at night.
Yeah.
The whole 9 to 5 thing for everybody is really weird.
It is really weird. And in some sense, I get it, because you need, in some workspaces, to have everybody there at the same time, collaboratively. But...
Here we go.
There was a lot of Pete jokes in this episode. It's hard not to.
No, I know. Oh, look at that.
Oh. Yeah.
Cinematographer.
The GoPro on a stick is crazy.
That's what it says on my videography business card.
Yeah,
GoPro on a stick.
Watch out, Peter McKinnon.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? Oh, I was jamming.
This was when you came back. And you were
was in
feeling real good.
Better mood. Yeah, I was feeling great.
Gosh, this was smack dab in the middle of the year, July 2nd.
Yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah.
You're alone in the shop and you have to let out a woo.
Well, and the funny part is, call it, maybe I just love to hear myself talk. I really don't. But when you're always filming stuff, I always feel like I got friends hanging out with me, you know, when the camera's there.
You're always thinking of the response to what's being filmed.
Or I'll be like, hey, come here, look at this. I got to show you something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So this is the Vineyard Station sign. It must be.
Yeah. So, you know, this goes back to what we were talking about earlier about, you know, catching up on builds that we didn't necessarily film the beginning of.
Yeah, and actually this one, I had no intention of filming it because it was so complicated.
It would have been such a headache to go through every aspect, starting from the design all the way to the finish. So I think when we cut in was a perfect time because a lot of the foundation was there, but there were still so many of the things that would still need to pull the sign together in order to be an actual functional sign.
Yeah, for sure. Because when I started building it, I didn't even have the full plan worked out.
Right.
I was just like, I got to start building something. So let's cut the pieces out on the plasma cutter and build a frame. And then right after that, I was like, okay, I kind of see how this is going to go.
Mm-hmm. It turned out so good.
People say all the time, if they know that I did that, they'll drive past it or send me a picture of it and say, hey, it's still lit up. It still works great. The paint's holding up. There's no rust anywhere.
I mean, this is one of the, what's the word I'm looking for? Like showpieces.
Yeah, this was a big feather in our cap for sure. And Wyatt helped a bunch with this one.
Mm-hmm. You were working on like a couple other things that didn't make it onto the channel at the time, like pizza rack.
Yep.
I can't remember what else.
Something for Aaron. Aaron was doing his bed thing.
Oh, lovely.
That's just the brief period in my life where I tried to wear a smartwatch.
What happened to that?
I still have it, but it's just so dumb.
Yeah.
It's another thing that has magnets on it. And when you were a metal worker, you make metal dust all day long. That's why I had to get rid of my Samsung flip phone because it uses magnets to close.
Look at that.
There you go. So we got some cool 110 volt LEDs, which are rad because you don't need a transformer or anything. You just hook them straight to line voltage.
It was certainly bright enough.
Oh, they're awesome.
We have that little cardboard cutout of Lift Rock Studios sitting in our window right now.
That's a stencil. I used it to paint it on the back of the truck. Lots of drilling, lots of repetitive stuff. Working with Wyatt on this one was, it was tough because I had a plan in my head, and for him to help me, I had to be good at orating my plan, describing my plan, and I'm not the best at that. And Wyatt, of course, has his own ideas, and I'm like, yeah, that's fine. But we're doing it this way.
Let's stick to my idea.
Otherwise, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Yeah. Oh, the green paint on there turned out so good.
I hated painting this in my shop.
It was probably a bitch. You had to cover everything, as you can see.
Well, yeah, and I had the green was dope. I had a paint booth lined up, but then I didn't give them enough heads up, and they were full. So I had to be like, well, I had a bunch of overspray on this. But yeah, that green is hot.
Yeah. It turned out so good. I mean, that thing just like brightens it all up on its own without the LEDs.
Mm-hmm.
But,
and then this is just double-sided tape and zip ties.
Do you know if they added any other?
Nope, just R&D Coffee right now, which they just opened. So if you're in Roanoke and or Vinton, they have multiple locations. Hit them up.
We'll have to try some of their coffee.
I'm sure it'll give me anxiety just like all the other stuff.
Yeah. Do you have any anxiety-free coffee in there?
Yeah, it's called decaf.
Yeah. Give me some of that CBD coffee.
So this was anchored to a concrete footer, bolted down and leveled, kind of like a street light. And then We have gloves on because that's freshly polished aluminum, and aluminum without the oxide layer on it is really reactive to moisture and oils.
Interesting. So
over time, it'll build up
and stuff.
Oxide layer, yeah. But if we touched it at that point, they would have been sealed under the oxide layer forever.
Gotcha.
Fun fact about aluminum for the
no
3
idea.
people out there still watching this.
Yeah. Nah.
Ooh, the helical
Yep.
sculpture. So this must be the finale.
Yes, it is. Our wildest build yet, I would say. Pretty crazy in all aspects.
For sure. I mean, the biggest bite I've ever taken as far as a job is concerned.
Mm-hmm. I mean, our first 5-part build video.
Yeah, well, I guess at least now watching this, you get to see it all loosely time-lapsed from beginning to end. But the concept came from Black Dog Salvage, my dad's company where I used to work. It was a client of theirs. And between the customer and the designer over there, they designed this sort of helical sculpture. The couple it was for, they own a giant construction company. And so the idea was that construction is in their DNA, right? So helical sculpture. And I didn't know the ethos behind the sculpture until I was basically done with it. And they finally told me, like, because people ask me, because it's been in my shop for 3 months, and I just make shit up every time.
Right.
I'm just like, well, I don't know.
Well, you know, it's a family tree of tools.
Yeah, yeah, right. All their children are tools.
Are dangling. All their children tools.
So we found a 30-inch pipe from a local civil contractor that normally gets pushed in the ground for whatever reasons. It's called a casing. And we decided that was the easiest way to make a helix is to remove material from a cylinder because it already has that shape. And then we need to make a lift point, which is what I'm making now, a cross piece that could allow the whole deal to be craned in. And then there's a top collar that made no sense, I think, probably till the end of the video. But
Yeah.
the collar was for the eventual rebar tree top.
Well, so much of the fabrication and design had to go into how to even carry this thing around. Because, like...
Which it takes a lot of thought. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's hard enough just to build it, but then you're like, oh, well, not only how am I going to stand it up in the shop, but how are we going to get it over to Black Dog? How's it going to get into the paint booth when it has to get painted?
Has it been painted yet?
Nope. I think that's a 2022 problem.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine painting this thing would be
It's swinging a little bit.
a pretty big undertaking.
Oh, yeah, you were my pair of eyes for this.
Yeah. I actually just held out my hand while you dropped it. And it just
Oh, to
perfectly
keep it,
keep it right on those lines.
Millimeters off the money.
And I ended up having to hit it a little bit,
Yeah.
but we used the GoPro
Yeah.
and the phone.
Yeah. I'll have to,
I mean, I had like inches.
yeah,
There's the
look at
GoPro
that.
shot.
That angle is awesome.
GoPros are the tits. They're
Yeah.
really annoying sometimes, but
It,
you can put them in places where nowhere else can go.
they're great on the hardware side, awful on the software side.
Terrible. The app is awful.
Yeah, like
They don't even want you to pull the memory card out.
no, that's why it's designed so hard for you to pull the memory card out.
We do it anyway. But.
Yeah, because it's easier.
So this was welded to a 5/8 trench plate. So I had to preheat. That's what that torch was. You preheat the metal before you weld it.
Oh,
That way
really?
You get more penetration.
I had no idea. I didn't even realize I was preheating. I thought you were just welding the whole time.
No, the flame torch was to preheat the metal before I welded. And then so I used a combination here of baling wire between fasteners. And then Cam,
We got a visitor.
come on in.
Pause.
We're talking about the helical sculpture, actually. We're doing our year-end
Review.
podcast. Not really a podcast, but oh, you're good, man. You got cash from your daddy-o? Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude.
Hey, sick hundo.
There's a cooler in the back of my car for you.
Oh, what's it got?
Oh,
One he used to bring all the meat down.
Bring all the meat down. Well, now that I have you guys alone, I'm not going to do anything. It's a blessing and a curse that people will just walk in and out of our shop, which is cool because sometimes we'll just randomly get people walking in with jobs. And then also people walking in handing to $100. Who knows why? Maybe some illicit activities. I'm not going to speculate. I mean, we've also had some unfavorable walk-ins, like in one of our recent videos. I think it was the last of the helical sculpture, where some lady just walked in off the street and started screaming at Tay about how him grinding metal and welding was unsafe for him and the local community. Which, you know, of course, this building is zoned industrial, and it's literally what this building is here for. And it makes me wonder what this lady thinks fabricators do, if not grind and weld things. Like, how does she think metal things are built, if not that way? Just like printed out? I don't know. I don't understand people. Anyways, Tay's coming back.
Is that Evan? No, that's not Evan. Triumph, cool, Triumph. Still rolling?
We good. You good, you good. I mean, it's always nice when your friend just drops off a hundo.
Hell yeah. I've gotten paid today. Look,
Hey.
look, I sold my, this is weird to be walking around with, but I sold the Samsung last night.
Oh, shit.
Was
I mean, that is a stack.
Yeah.
That's funny.
No, it's like when we were kids, this was a lot of money. Now it's like, well, that's like a payment on my loan.
Yeah. I need more than that. Yeah. Dude. Also, I don't know why.
I might pay you in cash for your paycheck.
I'll take it.
Doesn't have to be taxed that way.
Hey. We'll cut that out.
Still recording here?
Yep.
Cool.
It should be. Hold on, let me double check. Yep.
Sweet. And it's recording just locally to the videos folder.
Yeah. And play.
So this was a pain.
Dude.
But, I mean, this was a build where, like, conceptually, believe it or not, conceptually it was fairly simple. But the execution was a big old mystery, even while I was doing it.
Right.
At this point, I was just happy to be doing something, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't have the rest of the build figured out, but at least I know I have something to do.
Well, so many of the steps that you were taking, just from the outside would seem like these small beginner steps, like just getting the thing stood up. But
Right.
in reality, that's like one of the hardest things.
That was 3 hours of my day, you know? Yeah, on this scale too, any fab project on a scale this large, it either takes multiple people, you know, hydraulics, forklifts, chain falls, combination of all three.
I mean, this was several days of just...
This was fun though. It was really satisfying to weld in these pipes. Because I had a rhythm after the first few. I had a rhythm down, and then I still have a lot of this stuff laying around that a more ambitious me would have made more art by Christmas. But
I mean, just having the ability to do it still, even.
Yeah.
Like if somebody wants something custom.
I think state outlines are really popular. I'm gonna cut out a bunch of those. North Carolina, Virginia, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I did a few while it was vertical, which I think you saw in that video if you watched it.
Is that easier or harder?
Harder, because you can't move the piece. You have to get the projector position just right, especially the ones I cut at the top. I had to lift the projector all the way up there with the forklift.
I saw that. Oop.
Such a waste of time.
Yeah. But
that's me. I think this is when I was sick.
Yes.
Yeah, that right there, I dropped that piece and I said, fuck it, I'm going home.
Yeah, you were really sick too.
I was, and it wasn't COVID. It was like, I had strep throat.
Yeah, that's right.
And then after that, I had a cold, you know.
Yeah,
I still have some weird drainage, but part of that's just because it's cold and I don't have a dehumidifier in my bedroom.
Yeah, I was shocked that you even came in on some of those days because you...
Well, I was a fucking nightmare to be around. My attitude was terrible.
You just looked like you felt miserable about everything.
Yeah, I did. I mean,
yeah, that makes sense.
That's it. I mean, I don't know if that was a net positive thing to do or not, but who cares? So now I did the ribbon.
When you did the ribbon, you were bouncing back.
Yeah.
as far as health at least. But
This was fun because I'm not very good at, well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, obviously I'm capable and fairly decent, but this kind of thing, I would bias myself more towards the engineering mindset where I like a plan and dimensions and restrictions and constraints. Whereas my dad is more like this, you know,
Freeform.
he's just a pile of parts and just lay them in there till they feel good and weld them all up. So I got to entertain whatever side of my brain is the creative side. That was fun.
I think the ribbon is honestly one of my favorite parts.
Mine too. It makes it feel like more of a complete thing.
Yeah, it gives it more dimensions, a little bit more dynamic.
And it spirals the opposite way. So it mixes up the pattern there.
Gosh, December 3rd, that's not even that long ago.
Yeah.
Feels like a while ago though.
So this was fun too because it went really fast and there's no wrong answer. You know, you're just making a tree from rebar. So that we pre-rolled it at Black Dog and the oh, that was the footage I caught on my phone. I forgot to send you, but you can
insert here, maybe.
Maybe, probably not.
Probably not.
You already have a lot of work to
Just
do.
picture it in your mind.
Yeah, the roller, you know, bend it. And then so the pick point I made didn't work, so we had to pick it up from the sides with the forks, but it should be doable in the field.
How wild that looks.
It's nuts. So all said and done, it's 17 feet tall. Yeah. Well, that was a big year for that, and that was the first year in business here.
That was our biggest year so far, which is a good sign.
Onward and upward, man. We obviously have settled into some kind of rhythm with the videos, but I'd like to know what you guys like. What part of the videos you like, what parts you may not like, because we're down to pivot. You know, we like new ideas.
We've had some crazy ideas that we've actually been talking about recently, like, for example, making a sword.
Oh yeah, our buddy Will, a local filmmaker and all-around media guy. He's always wanted to film this, like, people that don't know how to make swords try to make a sword video.
And then fight each other with them.
Yeah, that's a big maybe there.
Well, because the title of his show is, because he's really good friends with Aaron Dykstra.
Oh yeah.
Is Will and Aaron Kill Each Other is the name of the show.
With tools that they don't know how to make.
Yeah.
The next video we're probably going to put effort behind is a plasma cutter review video.
It's going to take some serious muscle.
1 year later, yeah. We want it to be a big one. Kind of to piggyback off of the first video that did really well on our channel. So that was like, as I just got it working, explaining what I know. Now, a year in, all the little things I've learned and what it's been like to work with Shop Saver and get parts for it and maintain it. I'm about to have to clean the water out, so I might film that part too and just do a whole thing. But anyway, I don't really know where to end this, but thank you, Walker, for all your amazing editing work this year.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man.
For all the amazing talent I've been able to show the world.
Yeah. Well, thanks. Oh. Starting to memorize.
Where's the sad trumpet?
This one. We've had a lot of fun. I feel lucky that I get to do this for a living. It's really hard, but the fabrication part is strangely not the hard part. The business side is fun. But YouTube is a fun distraction. So I feel good being able to bring you guys along for the ride.
Yeah, and we don't make a whole lot on the channel, but
no, we're starting to monetize it, and it's starting to validate the effort to some degree. So
exactly. So
if you haven't yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Everyone says it. I'm tired of it. I hate hearing YouTubers say it, but
the metrics really do help.
Yeah, because the bigger our channel gets, the more it puts us in front of new people, and they might become fans as well. So, the robot overlords, man. Yeah. We're gonna go though. It's Christmas Eve. Go be with your families if you're watching this on Christmas. Thank you, but also go talk to someone. Go socialize a little bit.
Somebody that you love,
preferably.
preferably.
Unless you tried that and it ended poorly, and now you're retreating, in which case
Keep watching our videos.
we're here for you. There's so many more videos to
Yeah,
watch.
exactly. Here.
On behalf of Stella and Molly May and all of us here at Lift Arc, meaning all of us, and Wyatt. Wyatt just had a baby. Thank you.
On behalf of Wyatt's baby.
Yes, on behalf of Maggie Joe, thank you for watching.
Catch you next year. Becker!